So I come from a family of four: me, my sister, my older sister, my mom and dad.
Was born here in Memphis, Tennessee. Grew up in Collierville, Tennessee, so not the real Memphis, what people say. I'm the oldest of 7 children. You know, growing up, I was a bossy kid. I mean, I'm the oldest of 7, so who's gonna round them up? Me.
Well, I was a cheerleader all throughout adolescence to middle school through high school.
We had moved further out in Collierville, which meant I had to transfer my freshman year of high school, and so I knew nobody.
Always loved school. I love to study. I've always loved science. Science is my nature. So from a very young age, I just knew I wanted to be in the field of medicine.
Towards the end of high school, I kind of came into my own. So I was senior class vice president, voted Mr. Collierville High School. You got to figure out how to make your mark somewhere. And so I think high school kind of was that stepping stool for me to be able to come into my own when I got to MTSU.
I had a really wonderful childhood, and I know it's the childhood that made me the woman I am today, and hopefully the mom that I can be for my youngins.
Erika and I actually met at MTSU. I was a senior.
We were at kind of this organization festival, and I'm walking around meeting college people, trying to be grown and on my own.
I was just coming to visit my sister Deanna at work. She was working as an orientation leader. They were in the rec center. I went and saw her, and she was all excited and happy, and she was introducing me to her other coworkers, and then she was like, "Oh, I want to introduce you to somebody." I'm telling you, when I shook her hand, I looked directly into her eyes.
I'm like, who is that? He's kind of hot. He's attractive. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, Kappa, okay, yeah. So, got to keep my eyes out for that one.
I will never forget that face. And there was something about that moment where I was like, okay, this girl is special. We were just getting a chance to know each other, and somehow we got in a conversation of musicals, and she was like, oh my God, I love Wicked, it's coming in Memphis, you know, very soon, and I just wish I could go, and I wish someone could take me, and I hope I can go. And so literally right after that conversation, I talked to my dad. I'm like, I gotta get her to Wicked, like, now.
He was living in Georgia at the time. He said, I'm coming home this weekend. I would love to take you out. And I said, okay, let's do it. He said, oh, okay, well, we're gonna go see Wicked. And I mean, you would have thought we were going to see the president or something, because in my eyes, that was just a big deal, because that showed that he listened.
I flew in, got to her house, and picked her up. Her mom answered the door, you know, respectfully, yes. And, you know, she shook my hand and, you know, stared me up and down, make sure I was a good guy, you know, like, you know, who's this coming to get my daughter?
The night before they said, BFF, you know, do not be singing the musicals when you go, like, play it cool. I said, okay. So the whole time during the show, of course, I know the whole score to Wicked, and I'm just, you know, tapping my feet, and we were so nervous, and my heart was pounding out of my chest.
And then we went to Bluefin afterwards, walked over there and got some sushi, which is her favorite food, so it was awesome. And after that, the rest is history.
I think Danny said, I love you first.
I actually said I love you first. We spent New Year's together. My last minute behind, I was in Memphis for Christmas, and I was like, hey, you wanna spend New Year's together in Atlanta?
We were at a club in Atlanta, Georgia, New Year's, and he looked at me, and he said, I love you.
And she said, really? I said, yeah, I do. I think we had been talking for about a year.
And I said, are you sure? You don't have to say it just because it's New Year's and, you know, it's midnight. And he said, no, I love you. And I said, I love you too. So I think Danny said, I love you first.
I knew right then and there that, like, I'd love this woman really from the day that I met her. And it was a good moment. And then we had our New Year's Eve kiss, so that was awesome.
10 years ago, I knew when I met him, he would be somewhat of an importance in my life. But I think the exact moment that I knew that I wanted to marry him, in all honesty, was after our first date.
The moment that I realized that she was the woman for me was because we had gone through so much. We went through the fire together.
And I knew then that this was the man I had honestly felt that God placed in my life.
School was probably the hardest. Law school for me and PA school for her, it tested us big time. And it tested our relationship.
God was just telling me that I needed to be with him, he needed to be with me, and that we could honestly be powerful together.
When you have somebody who's there to support you, who's there to see you when you're about to give up, who's pushing you when you're exhausted, saying, just read one more page, I realized right then and there that she was the one for me. Oh, the proposal. Oh, I love the proposal. So I wanted the proposal to be something different. I wanted it to be fun. I wanted it to be memorable.
His family had told me that we were gonna throw his father a surprise birthday party.
I was going back and forth, and I was talking to my sister, Deanna. She was like, well, why don't you do something at that winery that mom and dad talked about? So me and my mom and dad scoped it out. It was perfect. It had a little dock, a lake, vineyards in the background, very simple.
I called Miss Debbie and asked her if she needed anything done for the birthday party. And she told me, oh, I want you and DJ to go and set up this, romantic spot for me and Mr. Bounds before I bring him to the party.
So we get to the winery. We go down to the dock to set up the private dinner for mom and dad. And we set up the table. I have a tablecloth, we have flowers, cheese, wine, everything.
And so Danny hands me this large bag with this heavy object in it. And so I'm trying to rush but still make things beautiful. And I pull out this cutting board. And on the cutting board it says, will you marry me?
On the back it says, we found love right where we are, which is our favorite song, Ed Sheeran, that kind of brought us together.
And even then I'm like, oh, how sweet. His parents about to renew their wedding vows. And he's just looking, he said, yeah. And I said, what? What? No way!
The first thing she said was, no!
No! Oh my God! He asked me to marry him, and of course, I said yes.
Will you marry me?
Of course, I will marry you. And so then we go to this restaurant, and of course, all our family's there, and so they all knew. But even when I got to the restaurant, I said, happy birthday, Mr. Bounds! And they're like, no, this is for you. So that's the proposal.
It was awesome just to have that moment, with family after we had the intimate moment. So yeah, it was an awesome day, great day.
My favorite characteristic about Danny is he's silly.
Her smile, she laughs, y'all. People know, she's loud, she's funny.
It's a side that he doesn't show often, but it's a side that I'm blessed to see.
I'm telling y'all, the girl can sing. We'll be in the car playing music and she's just singing the whole song. She sings it with every hook, every beat.
What drives me nuts about Danny is, good Lord, he's so analytical.
She's the baby and it's Erika's world and everybody knows it and you're just living in it.
I might wake up and say, I'm not feeling good today. And his answer is, well, why don't you feel good? I'm like, I just don't feel good. I don't know why I don't feel good. Don't analyze why I don't feel good.
Probably used to be an issue in our relationship. Now we just laugh about it. So yeah. I hope in 5 years that we just continue to grow our little mini kingdom that we want to create on this earth.
Hopefully on baby number 2 or 3, still traveling, still happy, still being Erika and Danny, loving to watch movies.
Big house, numerous cars, all that, you can keep all that. I just hope that Erika and I continue to fall in love with each other every single day.
Happy and joyous and just ready to conquer the world.
My love, I'm so ready to marry you.
Danny, I love you so much. We have looked forward to this day from the day that honestly we met. I'm just so ready to be the wife that I know I can be for you.
You are the woman that I have dreamed about for years. I knew it when I met you 10 years ago, and I'll know it forever.
We have been through so much, and all for this moment to live life together. And I know you've sacrificed so much for me in this relationship. And I'm just so ready to be your bride and to be your wife.
All I have to say is let's just continue to do this life together Let's love each other. Let's continue to find each other. Let's be friends. Let's be lovers. Let's have fun.
I love you so much, and thank you for choosing me to be your partner and to experience this with you. I don't think there are amount of words that can express how excited I am for this day.
And just know that there's no other woman that I imagine myself with ever, 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 ever. And that I love you so much.
You are the man that I honestly would be on my knees praying to God for. And I thank God for sending you to me. And I love you, and I'll see you at the altar.
I love you, and I can't wait for our big day. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna turn up, we're gonna have fun. And just thank you for being the woman of my dreams in reality.